So I just decided to actually plug in and play, and I figured, why not just do a video, because I'm not teaching anybody's music. It's always about inspiration. So I picked up the guitar. This is tuned down a half step. Like I had one upstairs that was tuned down. No, it was this one. Yes, a couple days ago, I had, because I haven't been feeling good and my hands ache, tuned it down a whole step. And these are 9s top wrapped. Imagine that, tuned down a whole step, and then I dropped this down to C. So I just moved it up a little bit. Because you got to really be careful, you know, how you press down and hold them when the strings are loose. So it's tuned down a half step with a drop C sharp. Alright, so it's not standard tuning. I think the telly, this is a Squier Classic Vibe. These things are unfrickin' believable for 400 something bucks. Unfrickin' believable, right out of the box. I had a little bit of the edge of the frets, real light dressing. I'm used to that. I have that with the Epiphones. It doesn't bother me. I go over everything. The nut, if it needs any string, like the low E was a hair high, I don't use gauges either on anything. I just look at it and go, yeah, I'll just take a couple passes on that. And I never messed them up. In the early days, back in the day, I messed up and went too low. I'd mix some, I'd actually grind some of a nut. I got some old broken nuts downstairs, and I'll just grind a little bit of that and make a powder with crazy glue and refill the slot, file it back out. But on all of the ones I have now, I've never had to do that. I just can tell by eye, and I'll bring them the strings at the right height there. So anyways, lesson. So I just turned the guitar on, and then I played a little bit of this and decided I'm just going to do a video about creativity. And so I just played a hacked version of, well, I don't even know what the song's called, Zeppelin from back in the day. And I might not be playing it right, you know, a lot of people. That's why I don't even bother with the covers. Oh, that ain't how it's played. Even the bands, other than Skinner or Bad Company or whoever, they play their songs, they stay true to it. But Zeppelin and a lot of them, they improvised each night. They didn't even play it the way they did it on the album. The main part was there, so you knew, yeah, what it was, you know. So I was just going, you could go, now this is drop, half step down everything in a drop C sharp. You could go, but I go. So then, my point being, I'm just using that as an example because I learned a lot of bits and pieces of all the songs that came out back in the day. I never learned whole songs. And some of the pieces I learned, I didn't learn them right, or I had friends that played in local bands that would show me stuff, you know, whatever. But my point being, what I do now, since in 2012 I taught myself a fair amount of theory and learned to understand and play the modes. I didn't do it from YouTube or out of a book. I just learned the do, re, mi, and all your modes are in the do, re, mi. So I already knew a little bit, but I never played in a band in my life other than a praise band in church. So the creativity part, say I take, because sometimes I'll pick it up and say that's not drop D, and I'll do a little piece of a Zeppelin. You know, I gotta go up here to hit that G note or whatever, but I won't chase after anybody else's music. I go, I like that groove, so that moves me, so what can I come up, what does this inspire me to do? And then I start with my own. You know, just start hacking. I'm hacking, I don't care. The point being creativity, you know. just taking that simple idea. But what else does that do? Can I find from the things I learned from playing the do re mi's and the diet? You know, then I start just taking, I know what I'm doing or what key I'm pulling this out of. And then I just start looking for all my own things, because that's what's going to come out when I do a few CDs. It's just going to be mine. But you'll hear Zeppelin influence in them. You'll hear a lot of 70s band influence. But again, just taking, sometimes when I haven't been playing or doing videos because I've not been inspired. For the past couple months, I've just not been inspired. I pick it up and still will play a little bit, and I got a recorder. When I got a little thing I think might be cool, I'll hit record, you know. Here's one that will be on one of my CDs. Here's just a little piece of, a part of what it is. Those kind of things, you know, taking dyads, but learning the do re mi, your 7 scale positions, playing them and listening to what they are, each block, and then you start, you know, you can find all kinds of stuff just from one I usually, when I'm uninspired, I will go to a cover song that might be on my mind that I'll, you know, be thinking of, whatever. And even stuff like 10 Years Gone, because this is on Nasty Sound, I'm not going to change it, where I just don't... And then it does, I had learned that whole thing back when I was doing gigs out there. I did a medley of certain cover songs all bunched together. Acoustic one, I used Boston, the entry to Angie by the Stones, all that stuff. So I'm a big fan of cover music. But what I'm going to put out is I want to be as far away from cover music as possible, personally, so I can try to bring forth whatever my voice is. So you know, you're just sitting and picking a key, or coming up with an idea, and then looking at it and saying, well, what key, all the scale positions can I use for that? Do I want, that would be the key of C, even though I'm favoring this. So I can go to all scale positions once I create the groove. You know, I'm just making this up on the spot, you know, and again, I started with... Now, it has no value to me to go and learn it. I could learn the whole song. But for me, it has no value at all, because I'm not going to use it. At my point in life, at 71 years old, I want to put the time in finding my own voice, but I'm by all means influenced by all kinds of bands out there, like all of us are, that play. So I take something, say I got in it, and then I would start working on that idea. No, so is this, so it's, out of C, I'd be, that's A minor, okay? Even though it sounds like D minor, but I'm playing an A minor scale to that D, because I've determined the chords that I'm involving in here, these diagrams. D Dory in the second position, favoring of C major. Now what I was doing there, I'm just going. I'm not trying to play anything I rehearse. All the scale blocks of C major to that. Now I could sit and spend time working out how do I want it to groove. What I really do need to do with something to bring it more towards a thing is a drum beat, you know. So I would just use my foot. And I have another one with that same idea that so I got that. So because I taught myself the do re mi, you know, the 7 scale basic scale positions to any do re mi, and I would determine with this one, even though it's the same as this, the other piece that I went here, that's an F dyad, C, G. So I'm sliding up from C to D. That one would be the key of C. I'd use all the scale positions and I could just go play in the key of C. And when I'm here with that from the key of C, if I get here, when I'm here I go, well, I can just play the A minor scale, but to this. All right, so anywhere, wherever the key is, any scale block of C. But I'll go towards the D that's favored in this group. Right? And so the melodies for me are the easiest thing to find. I don't even have to think. I just go there and play in the blocks a little bit and go, okay, I want this kind of a phrase and create my phrases. But this one, even though it's the same here, this one's in another key because of this. That's G, and this is D, major. And this one, that's sort of a D minor chord, you know, when it's in the key of C. Not natural minor, D minor, but it'd be Dorian mode. So this one, that's the key of G, so I can go and just do the same thing that I was doing on the other one, but only in the key of G, and just play in the scale blocks of G with it. Scale blocks of, and I can quickly come up with, well, not quickly, but depends on what I want to hear, and I'll have to sit with the groove I did. So any of the scale blocks of a G major. It'd be A Dorian. Alright, I gotta stop. I don't want to go way over 15 or I gotta cut it. All right, so just a little lesson on finding inspiration from a cover tune, but then going off in creativity. But you got to know the do, re, mi. You got to know your scales.